Rolling. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hello everyone, welcome to Development Camp. I just want to say that we did an amazing job coming up with developing Iris Focus 4.0. It's an amazing new release. Not only do we have live composites, which is going to be a huge new feature for customers, along with snapshots, a zoomable timeline to look at archived data. We have site selection, data manager, and a huge effort on testing, and on top of that, documentation really pulled everything together. But next up, we have Iris Focus 5.0. And for Iris 5.0, we need to be much more efficient and focused at our task. And how can we achieve this task? How can we achieve being much more focused and effective? Well, we need to understand our brains better. So, welcome to Brain Camp. Let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine controls the reward and pleasure centers of our brain. Dopamine is motivation. Dopamine is attention, but also dopamine is addiction. Addiction as in sweets. You see a sweet, and once you've tasted a donut, you know, oh my God, that's the best tasting thing in the world. You see it again, you get a little dopamine hit. Same, people tend to be addicted to gambling. Also drugs and alcohol. Once you have a taste, or people with addictive personalities, people with addictions, this is all caused from dopamine. And the newest addiction on our list, of course, is the iPhone. The iPhone with apps like Facebook, messaging, text, Instagram, YouTube. These apps are always vying for our attention. They're addicting because we get the likes, who sent us a new message. We are constantly checking our smartphones. And of course, not only is it addiction, it's a huge distraction. Here's some of the things that I do to avoid the iPhone distraction. Notice on an iPhone, there's a little moon there. What happens is if I touch that or click it, I'm in do not disturb mode. What that does is I don't get any texts, I don't get any messages, the phone doesn't ding whatsoever. And I don't even get phone calls. It's only if in an emergency someone says, oh, I really got to get a hold of Doug, then they know to call within a 1 minute time frame, and then my phone rings. So let's be very careful of the newest distraction, which is our iPhone. Open office. Frank Lloyd Wright envisioned open office as an open, flowing office. I think this is Johnson & Johnson Company had Frank Lloyd Wright developed this for him years ago. Managers up above, employees down below. This was again a very nice environment for them at the time. Unfortunately, what's happened to our open offices is you notice lots of distractions, lots of noise. Even though the views are great, the distractions are tough. And it's been shown that once you get disrupted from doing a task, it takes up to 20 minutes to get back and involved in what you were last doing. So that tends to eat up into your day as far as constantly being disrupted. Other things that can affect ourselves is stress at work. Stress in the prefrontal cortex. This is your prefrontal cortex here. And what that does is it has executive functioning, does impulse control, personality, focus and organization. You know that if you're stressed out, I'm stressed out. My personality goes, I can't think straight, my memory is shot. And when you're stressed, cortisol is released. Why is cortisol released? When cortisol is released, all this is shut down. You know why? Because this is from our prehistoric days, and we're getting ready to run from the saber-toothed tiger. This thing is going to try to kill us. It's leftover part of prehistoric days. You don't want to do any thinking. We just want to run from that thing. So let's be careful with stress. Let's try to manage it better. Let's talk about our brains. This is our brains. It's always going. Plenty of chatter. We have stress going on. You're like on the top of the ocean. You're being thrown around, problem solving, getting a release out. You maybe have some emails, kids, cars got to be fixed. You got to get home from dinner, trying to work out. we all have a lot of going on, constantly thinking. It's on and on and on. Our brains never stop thinking. Amazing enough, down below that ocean, it's calm down there. And you may ask, well, how do I get to the calm below? How do I get there? Well, there's this thing called tactical breathing. What is tactical breathing? Tactical breathing is you sit in a quiet area. You relax. You close your eyes and you breathe in 1, out 2. Breathe in for 3, out 4. You do that up to 10 and you start over. If you can get 5 to 10 minutes, that will greatly reduce a lot of stress. You may have heard, sure, people try this all the time. I'm telling you, this really helped me. I am now much more focused in meetings, and I just am much more focused. It has incredibly helped me. Also, you say, well, this is only you. Who else could it work for? 80% of CEOs, a lot of athletes, mostly athletes and Navy SEALs all do this tactical breathing. Especially a Navy SEAL, they need not to have stress come into their life. They are in very important meetings. On top of top athletes, who just saw Michaela Schifrin when she was ready to do the world, the downhill. She was going to do the downhill, and just before the slalom, the giant slalom, and just for the slalom, and just before she went, she actually vomited a little. And she said, oh, it might have been a virus. She let stress get to her, I guarantee it. Well, next up, let's be very careful about stress. Next up, there's this thing called flow state. Well, what is flow state? Flow state is your brain stops processing all this information, which of course your brain uses a lot of energy. It shuts down the inner critic that says, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, and you become highly focused and you flow. Extreme athletes flow. Extreme athletes like skydivers, rock climbers, skiers, mountain bikers, downhill skiers. These people are not thinking. They are in this state called flow state where they're just magical things are happening for them. I love flow state. When I go skiing, I only ski in the woods or the glades. It's have to be tight, woods, lots of moguls, lots of things I need to, lots of moguls, anyway, if you can see this, lots of moguls, trees. I don't do any thinking. I just go into this amazing state of flow, and it's just magical happening. Same with this downhill mountain biking. That's not me, but I do things like that. I'm not thinking when I go off those rocks. Yeah, I know I should be. But when I go off those, I'm just in this state called flow. Everything happens just magically. And other ways to achieve flow, of course, this tactical breathing. You relax, your mind shuts down, and you go into this zone or you flow. But the people who have some of the most amazing flow is software engineers. Software engineers flow all the time. They innovate, they come up with great ideas. How many times have you gone to work at 9 and all of a sudden you blink your eye and it's 5 o'clock? That is flow. So that is flow. Let's talk about some work environments that promote flow. Let's talk about some work environments that do not promote flow. Where these are work environments that do not promote flow. You notice that person is talking on the phone over there. This person has their iPhone right there. They're constantly getting to. There's no flow going on whatsoever. They're just constantly being distracted. Similar with this people. That woman right there, she's biting her hand. And that over there, she's passing a magazine across. No flow going on whatsoever. They're just constantly being distracted. It's amazing they can get any work done. Now let's talk about environments that encourage flow state. Nice, relaxing. This is where all your amazing brainstorming happens. You're sitting there, and you're just relaxing. Flow, amazing flow happens in these type of states. So let's wrap up. This is your brain. It is the most complicated thing in the universe. It has 100 billion neurons. It has 100 billion neurons. We are just winging it. We're going, we just assume this is how it works, and we're not actually bringing it to its maximum potential. We didn't come with an instruction manual. So again, we're just trying to figure it out. So what I'm trying to do, so to promote efficiency And so to promote focus and efficiency during in our short release cycle, what I would like to do is to maximize flow state. How are we going to do this? We're going to control our smartphone addictions. We're going to minimize office distractions. We're going to promote quiet work environments, reduce stress by tactical breathing, and that is going to all allow us to flow, and we are going to achieve and create something amazing. Thank you. The end. Any questions? Yeah, I have one.